Welcome to the Somatic Coaching Academy podcast. I'm Ani Anderson.
And I'm Brian Trzaskos. Join us as we explore the science
and art of trauma-sensitive somatic practices and tools.
Strengthen your practice as a coach, therapist, or holistic professional.
Master the art of motivating even the most challenging clients when you understand how to tap into and unlock your client's complete holistic intelligence.
If you want to learn the most cutting-edge, research-supported skills for personal and professional mastery, you've come to the right place. Let's get this conversation started. Hi, and welcome to the Somatic Coaching Academy podcast. Ani, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today, Brian?
Doing very well.
It's almost 4th of July. I'm really excited.
I'm super excited. And this week, in just a couple of days, the book comes out.
Woo! It does. We're gonna get it in our hands.
This has been like a year-long project.
It almost exactly.
Exactly.
We signed the contract with Wiley in August.
And we started conversation with them in July. Actually before July 4th, because we were talking with our family about it on July 4th. Huh. So it was like right around that time. So
how about that?
It's been
a year?
Basically a year.
Wow, what a year.
Process.
Woo!
Which has been really
thrilling.
Cool. It's been full.
I would say. Full year.
It's been full. It's been learned so much this year about things, and super excited about getting this book out into the world. And it's not just writing the book and editing the book and working with the publisher and then pre-launching the book, getting it to launch date. And then now, we're going to be moving into a phase where we're doing speaking tours and that kind of stuff about the book. So talk about manifesting things.
Yeah.
And I am really honored, Ani, and not just for this, but we have really manifested quite a lot together in our lives. You think about it, and at least I think we have. And
we definitely have.
Been a fantastically
all the things
inspiring, all the things kind of process. But I thought we'd take on the eve of the book coming out. I thought we'd take a little time to talk about how we manifest together as a partnership. So we're partners in our personal life, and we're partners in our business lives, and we have co-created, co-founded, now co-authored things.
Can't get away from each other.
I know. We just literally kind of can't get away from each other in that regard. So we've done a lot of manifesting together. And I know a lot of your clients kind of talk about that,
Brian, everybody wants
to bring that. Like,
everybody wants to know.
How do you manifest together as a couple, as a partnership? Like, what's the process?
Yeah. And also, how do you get your husband on board with this for,
So how do you get your husband on board with this?
Talk about that later, ladies. Yeah.
I need to know the inside scoop so I can talk to the husbands about it and say.
I mean, we're talking about what am I trying to say? Cisgender, straight, kind of all those things, couples. But I think with any couple, there's all the dynamics, and usually there's like one person in the couple who's really into it, and one person in the couple who's not so into it. Is this story that we hear more often, and people who are into personal development and insight and looking at themselves, self-discovery and things like that, they want to know how to get the other person on board. And I think that actually is a key part in how we manifested each other, to be perfectly honest, in my perception of the story. Because in my previous relationship, I wished very hard. Like, one of the things with manifestation is there's your best manifestations, there's this like devotion to what it is that you really desire. And I don't even want to use the word want. I want to use the word desire. There's like this devotion to what you desire. And I had a very devoted desire to wanting to have a person or people in my life to be able to talk about personal development with, because I was reading books, but my partner at the time wasn't into it. it's funny because he's more into it now, but wasn't into it at the time, and I couldn't share these conversations. I so desperately wanted a person to be able to share personal development conversations with. And that was the real basis of our friendship as we were getting to know each other, as I perceive it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we started a wellness center together, but we still didn't know each other all that well. We were still getting to know each other when we started the center. And then we would have these lunch conversations and break conversations between clients where we would talk about the things that we were reading or the classes we were taking or the certifications we were doing or client examples and things like that. And it was really, really deeply meaningful to me to have manifested a friendship with a person who we could do that work together. So back to what I was saying, that's a shared value for us. It's a shared value and a common interest for us. So where some couples, they might share a common interest in wine, or they share a common interest in love of dogs or hiking or whatever. Maybe it's a hobby or maybe it's a thing that you do, or have, wealth or whatever it is. One of probably our top three common interests is personal development. So that shared value is part of what works with this whole thing.
Yeah, I love how you're talking about this, Ani, and I just want to kind of bring to the conversation again, reminding everyone that you're always manifesting something, and you're either not either, you're both. You're both manifesting something personally. And if you're in any type of committed relationship with someone, whether it's a personal relationship or a professional relationship or partnership, you are manifesting things together, whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously, because we're always manifesting something.
Yeah.
And if you're manifesting unconsciously, let's just say, with your partner, like you're not particularly making plans around it, you're not particularly trying to figure it out or sort it out along your way or how you're planning it. What, to your point of shared values, Ani,
Yeah.
is that we always manifest according, when you're in a couple, you always manifest according to your shared values. It's the values that you're sharing are the things that will automatically keep manifesting themselves. And so you have to kind of just, again, think about what those shared values are. For us, so personal development, personal growth was a shared value, and it still is a shared value. So it makes sense that we are constantly kind of manifesting opportunities for more growth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like on an accelerated track, because it's not just like you're doing it on your own and I'm doing it on my own. We're doing it together. And in this case, one plus one doesn't equal two.
No.
1 + 1 = 10 or something like that. When you're doing it together with someone else, you'll always exponentiate your shared values. And so for us, personal growth being one of our shared values, we just constantly are getting opportunities for personal growth.
Yeah, well, I think as soon as we started recognizing that was a shared value and started energizing it as a shared value, like everything else opened up for us really, professionally, really, to be like, hey, you're on the track to be teachers of this stuff. It's just like, boom, right there.
Yeah, and even the most difficult parts of our personal relationship,
Became a part of that.
well, there's still opportunities for personal growth,
Yeah, but it
right?
became a part of our process of learning more about ourselves so we can
Exactly.
teach
Yep.
that stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yep, exactly. But so that's something that just always happens for us just naturally, because that's a shared value of ours. Where if you're in a relationship with someone, to your point, I think, Ani, so one partner has a high value in personal development or growth, and the other person doesn't, then you're not going to exponentiate those things together.
And that doesn't mean that you can't have that in your life,
Right.
by the
Yep.
way, right? Like, part of the cool thing about life is having relationships that feed all of our different interests and values. So,
Yeah. You know,
and go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, if you really crave a relationship like that, one of the things that we do with our clients is help them recognize those people are already in your life. You just probably don't see them. To our point about all the reasons why, listen to the last episode about value tagging and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So there's some other areas that I believe that we have as shared values too. that have shown up in interesting ways. So when I was thinking about this podcast and kind of having some internal kind of conversations with myself about it, I came up with some other ideas. And so I really think that, a shared value we also have is contribution, that we both really value contribution, right?
Better for worse.
For better or for worse. I mean,
Yeah.
so we're both always contributing around the house as much as we can.
Just around the house.
At work and around the house, and we get a bit irritated with people that don't seem to value contribution.
Exactly, who don't share
Right?
that value.
And we're like, what is going on here? Like, we're contributing and we're not getting the blah 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 blah. And so some ways to determine, like, what is it that you have a shared value with your partner is, where do you meet on irritation about other people that aren't in your part? You might be irritated with each other at some point in time, but where do you come together because you have a strong shared value around something?
Exactly, because you might irritate me, but that points to my value that you don't share, for example. But the things that we both complain about, shared values.
Yeah. So contribution's a big one.
It is.
And so when you think about what we've created in our life, like even manifesting this book, like it's really come from both of our values around contribution, like wanting to contribute to the book and actually kind of like, who's going to do what chapter? I want to do this one. You want to do that one. Okay, I'm going to edit this one. I'm going to do that one.
It's very
and
fairly
really trying to figure out how can we always keep contributing and adding value to the process. Oh, you're writing tonight? I'll cook. I'll do the dishes tonight. Okay, I really got to meet this editing deadline. Okay, I'll do the grocery shopping this week or something like that, or I'll go to the dump. I mean, we have all these life things that we have to manage too. We're always contributing to them and trying to like figure out how to support the other person in their contribution by contributing.
Just laughing because our listeners are like, did he just say take a dump?
Go to the dump. Sorry.
Okay, so people, we don't have trash service.
We live in the woods. We don't have trash service. I have to go to the dump.
It's cognitive dissonance. As soon as you said that, people were like, it's like, what did he just say?
It's a regular part of my routine.
Other people don't do that. That is
Anyway, I could keep going on it, but I won't. I can make this really uncomfortable for everybody, but I won't. But that's good. Okay, what else we got? Shared values. Like,
well, humor is a shared value of ours. Like, we make a point to. It's one of the things that we do regularly is this try to laugh together.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, we pull up clips of funny things. We watch stand-up comedy and that kind of stuff.
Kids to see stand-up that's probably the thing we've done the most together as a family, actually, is see comedians. We watch the news via the comedians.
Yeah, we watch comedic news, programs and those kinds of things. It's really about lightheartedness and laughing and those kinds of things.
Which, from a standpoint of manifesting together, is so important because, well, I mean, even if you're not trying to consciously manifest, I mean, damn, navigating long-term relationships are hard. They're challenging. So laughing together is something that is really, really important. And it's something that brings us back to each other too when things are getting too serious or whatever. We've got to like have a laugh. Like, you're really good at that. You'll know when I'm struggling or whatever and be like, let's watch some comedy, or
yeah,
pick up my favorite one.
Sometimes you don't always like my punisms. They don't land right. So it's like, we better watch someone else tell jokes.
It affected me though a number of weeks ago when you pointed out that I do it on the podcast. I've been watching myself as they want to come out of my mouth, and I think I'm so funny in my head with the retorts that I am making up, and then I'm like, I don't like it all the time when he does that.
That's the only time you do it is on the podcast.
I know.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
I'm a little ashamed of myself.
It's a whole role reversal thing.
Really is, but like whereas you will out with like deeply vulnerable shares on the podcast, and I'm like, I'd love that at home, but you'll do it on the podcast. So You'll take my puns, I will take your vulnerable shares. And, couples listening out there, apparently the way to bliss is having a podcast with your partner. So there you go.
Yeah, which is, yeah, there you go. You have it. And thanks for joining us for that. Well, I just want to note one more that's really important for both of us as a shared value. Because again, if you're listening to this and you're like, Ani and Brian, how do you manifest together around shared values? It's for both of us, autonomy and freedom is really important.
Yeah.
We both want to have our own sense of autonomy, even in partnership with one another. It's important that we both have the ability to be able to be free to make our decisions. And what's also really important to us is that we instill those values in our kids, And we have a blended family. And, for those of you who have a blended family out there, it's not easy on a day-to-day basis, especially when the kids are younger. But as they've grown up, what I think has really bonded us together is wanting our kids to be independent, really raising them to be independently functioning human beings in the world.
When our kids were probably, although I might be getting this wrong, probably about 9, 9, and 7, we sat them around the dining room table to do an activity around finding our family values. And I was so excited because having a blended family so challenging, and I thought if we can just nail this one thing where we come together, I can rest and have this like peace around where we come together. And the kids, bless them for their age, bless their hearts, sat there to do the exercise long enough to get to the conclusion. And the conclusion, do you remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
The conclusion that I believe they came to, or maybe we did and said it out loud, and then they were like, yep, is everybody is number one. Each of us is number one. And the moment that they each recognized that that was the family value, that each of us as individuals was number one, and they were like, that works. They at that moment got up from the table and left. And I don't know how you were feeling, but like there was this moment, I remember this memory. I was just sitting there like, you gotta be effing kidding me. That's it? Like that's what connects us is that each of us is number one. And it did not provide the relief at that moment in time at all that I was looking for. Now that they're older, they're 21, 21, almost 21 and 18. It's so much easier for me to say that it has really served us so well as a family. And also, I love watching them grow up, knowing that they have autonomy and they have autonomy in our home, but it also has instilled a confidence in them to go out and do the things that they want to do. I don't think any of our kids feel a need to please us, and do things so that we approve or things like that, which I think is so awesome. It's so great. Although in terms of pleasing us, my son did bring up yesterday and has brought up a few times, you should be glad I'm not a drug addict. It's just, thanks. So he might be pleasing me in that way. I don't know. But anyway,
moving the bar down so that law of relativity, you actually feel better about things.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I know I leave the car a mess.
Exactly.
But you should be glad I'm not
a drug addict.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
So actually, this is the last one I want to share. One of our huge shared values, which obviously our kid is like tapping into for us, is law-based living. Like we live according to the natural laws
as much as we can.
When we're have decisions to make, or when we are even in a bit of some conflict with one another, we really approach things from the natural law base. Really, that's the value with the way with which we live. That's the construct within which we live. And our kids apparently are picking up on that because they're using that to their own advantage, law of relativity, to make themselves look better than whatever. I mean, totally. Working for them. It's great.
Totally. We use the laws all the time when it comes to even daily decisions. It's certainly big things. I think at this point we do it subconsciously because it's become a program.
Yeah.
But there are things that we've had to kind of put in place and learn along the way. And one of the things is we're able to take leaps or take chances together because we know the laws and because we live the laws. You want to tell everybody about our fun thing that we say.
Our little mantra.
We do have a mantra when things are hard.
Yeah, because of the law of polarity. And I actually shared this a few months ago in our Living the Laws program. It's our year-long program where we have a container and we take a cohort through actually helping them to embody and live with the natural laws. And the law of polarity states that everything is created as a whole, and everything has its opposite, its corresponding opposite. And so the idea is that if you see that quote unquote bad things are happening in your life, then there also must be good things happening in your life, because the bad things can never be separate from the good things. They're always there at the same time. So the more bad things that seem to be happening means the more good things also must be happening, even if you can't see them.
Right.
So when it seems like life is really hard and there's a lot of quote unquote bad things happening,
one thing after the next,
right? We just look at each other and we just shout up like, good things must be happening. Good things must be happening. You know, that's just like a mantra that we have. It's kind of funny, like that there's that Seinfeld episode from years and years and years ago where George's father is stressing out. And so he goes to the therapist, and the therapist tells him that when he gets really stressed, he should just say serenity now.
Oh yeah, right.
But instead he screams it when he gets sort of thing. So we kind of just pull this good things must be happening out of our internal system, and to just start to recognize, say, they must be happening somewhere.
It does diffuse the situation, for sure, because I am a big drama queen. I love to get wrapped up in something, so it diffuses the situation or makes us laugh. So yes, right then and there we could start listing out and pointing out, well, this is happening and this is happening, but it's not even that. It's just a reminder, like, don't get so wrapped up in it. Don't focus all your conscious attention on the stuff that's not going right.
Yeah, it disrupts the system.
Disrupts it. It's a pattern interrupt. It's a really, really good one for us as a couple.
And I was so really touched. One of our students a few months ago in the Living the Laws program, where I just shared this technique, this idea, and just a day or two or week after that, her young child ended up in the ER, and it was obviously very stressful. And she said that even as she was taking her child to the ER, she was saying to herself, good things must be happening. Good things must be happening. And she said it got her through that really difficult period. And she was just so thankful about it. And it was really touching to hear, to her say that, to know that that was an impact that we were able to make in her life and in her child's life to help them get through a very stressful experience.
That's good.
And it kind of broke the spell, to your point, of being so attached to all the bad stuff that seems to be happening, because something good must be happening also at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a pro tip, as we're kind of wrapping up this conversation, be respectful of your partners in your life and what they value. And the more that you can recognize and allow people to, it's not even that we're allow ourselves really to keep our eyes on our own paper and infuse joy into our own values, the better all of our relationships are going to be. So, it's not about making people get on board with what's going on. It's about recognizing the values underneath of it and then energizing the shared values, and you'll be on a really good road.
Yeah. I love that message. Thanks so much for the conversation, Ani.
You're welcome. You want to say something deeply vulnerable?
No, I'm good. Oh, okay. I'm good. As long as you don't do any puns, I'm not going to share anything vulnerable, and we'll let the listeners off the hook for this episode anyway.
Just next week.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to this episode. We hope that this conversation will help you improve your practice and change the way you think about your work, your clients, and yourself.
Continue your exploration of trauma-sensitive somatic coaching by listening to more podcast episodes at somaticcoachingacademy.com. You could be the trusted guide that people turn to help them with their most challenging situations and to reach their most precious goals. Thank you for joining us.
We'll see you next time.